Okay, proposal number 13. Proposal number 13 is a proposal to amend the annotated code of Maryland so that the student member of the Charles County Board of Education has voting rights in all matters except personnel. The student member serves as a representative of the students enrolled in the school system. This would bring Charles County in line with several other jurisdictions in the state which grant their student member voting rights. Additional information is found on page 29, and we have with us Ian Hurd, the current student member for the Charles County Board of Education, to provide additional comments. Mr. Hurd, you have 3 minutes to provide your comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay. Good evening, commissioners, delegates, and senator. My name is Ian Hurd, and I am presenting a proposal I submitted to give the student member on the Charles County Board of Education voting rights excluding personnel matters. It has been my distinct honor in this unusual year to represent my fellow 27,000 peers as the student member. Currently, the perspective this position brings has no weight on the final decisions of the school board. As the student representative on the board, I have the unique privilege of not only representing students during board discussions, but also going to school the next day and seeing those decisions be implemented and seeing the benefits and challenges they bring with them. You, the elected leaders of Charles County, know student advocacy best. You've seen it outside in the community. Many of you have attended digital forums and seen it in the home. You've reached out to the youth of Charles County and we've responded. We are asking to have weight in the decisions that affect us in our everyday lives. The Board of Education has the critical job of delegating their resources to best serve our students, our teachers, and our community. I can say confidently from my experiences in the boardroom and my months so far as student member, youth bring something special to the table. No one knows the issues of the classroom and the issues of the youth better than our students themselves. When we look outside our own county, we can see other counties are setting an example of the potential this position has to give students, one of the school system's largest group of stakeholders, input in the boardroom. Anne Arundel County, Montgomery County, and Prince George's County are just some of the many counties in our state to afford the student member on their boards of education voting rights. This discussion alone is huge for my peers and I. We hope you'll bring our county in line with other jurisdictions. I urge you to support this proposal and validate the perspectives and experiences of 27,000 students in the boardroom. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Commissioners, we do have some citizens who have signed up to speak. The first one will be Samuel Shermas. Mr. Shermas, are you on the line? I think you may be muted. All right, Commissioners, we'll move on to the next one that has signed up to speak, and that is Yachi Madden. Mr. Madden, are you on the line?
Hello, I'm on the line.
Oh, sorry, Miss. Go ahead, if you can state your name and address.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Yachi Madan. I live at 11206 Barneswallow Place, Apartment G, Waldorf. I'm a senior at Thomastown High School and currently serve as the first vice president for Charles County's Association of Student Councils, also known as the CAC. I have called Charles County home for 12 years now and have been a part of student government for 7 years. Throughout my journey, I have advocated for student rights through various positions such as SGA President, Vice President, CCAC Secretary, student member to the Board Advisory Council, Mental Health Association member, and much more. Working with students around the county for years now has led me to firmly believe that our student member to the Board of Education deserves voting rights. As a voice for over 27,000 students, our student member to the board deserves to have a say in procedure and decisions that will affect our education every day. As a student, our SMOB has experienced the issues, needs, desires, and values that are needed for students to be successful. We as students understand that the board members are trying to do their best for us, and they visit our schools as much as possible to understand our needs. But no other board member can replicate the perspectives of the student member who is a Charles County student attending class for 7 hours every day for years. We rely on the board every day for decisions that impact our future, and we appreciate them allowing the student member to the board invaluable student insights on all board discussions. But no matter what the decision is, at the end of the day, it's for the Charles County education system, and we are students in the education system, so our input is very valuable. Throughout the previous years, there have been many times where students have felt the need for more opportunities to have their issues heard. But in the end, the one student on the board has been denied the ability to have a weight on the final say, which brings us back to the same point we started. Every year, we elect a student member to the board to improve the lives of students in this county, but how can he or she do that if he or she doesn't even have a final say in the matters being discussed? As students, we understand voting alongside experienced board members is a huge responsibility, and students in Charles County are mature, accountable, respectful, and passionate student leaders, and among them is our student member. When he or she is up there, the thoughts and ideas represented are not just one individual's, but every single student from this county. I, Yachi Madan, once again firmly believe that allowing our student member to the board voting rights will be very beneficial for not just current students, but also students in the future and for their family. With all due respect to everyone, I genuinely wish the best for this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Madan. Now we have the next speaker is Danny Mears.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Hi, I'm Danny Mears. I live on 27th Lane.
Excuse me, can you guys hear me? I'm Samuel Chernoff. I was supposed to speak earlier, had some technical difficulties. I apologize.
Samuel, I'll call you after. We're going to let Danny Mears continue, and then I'll call you to speak after that.
All right, yes.
Mr. Mears, if you want to continue,
I'm
please.
Danny Mears. I'm Danny Mears. I live on 27th Lane, La Plata, Maryland, and I'm an 11th grade student at McDonough High School. Thank you for the time and willingness to discuss the student member of the board's voting rights. I'm asking for your support and favorable decision on this important matter of student representation. As a student leader, I see the immense personal and public value in providing a channel for youth to be involved in policy decisions. Actions taken by the school board directly impact the lives of students. By including student voices and opinions, you can demonstrate that students' perspectives are valued. When students are included, they are more invested in outcomes and have a greater sense of belonging and community. Charles County students are knowledgeable, passionate about their local, state, and national issues. They have demonstrated their willingness to be civically engaged and seek to have a positive impact on their schools and community. The student board member is their direct link to the Board of Education and its policy decisions. By providing the student member of the board with voting rights, you will give students a vote on matters that determine their daily lives and their futures. The student board member is a resource to students, a representative for their opinions, and an example of civic education in action. By granting voting rights, you can inspire future leaders of Charles County. If the student board member were to be granted a vote, it would show students that their input is essential to the decisions made by Charles County Public Schools. You'll be providing a structural change that will enhance the democratic process and increase representation. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Mears. Delegate Patterson, before we get to you, I'm going to have the speakers continue. Would that be okay? Okay, then we'll go with Samuel. Are you still on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you got 3 minutes.
All right. Okay. County commissioners, state delegates, state senators, my name is Samuel Chernoff of 103 Discovery Court in La Plata. I'm a junior at McDonough High School, and I am also a member of Charles County Association of Student Councils and Maryland Association of Student Councils executive boards. I come to you today as one of the several passionate and determined student leaders of Charles County. No matter what organization we may be a part of or what school we may attend,
there's one common unifying factor between us, our desire to leave a positive impact on Charles County. The main way this can be accomplished is not through individual efforts, but by uniting as one. Our central voice and method to do this, representative for the 27,000 individual needs of the students, currently lies within the student member of the board of the Charles County Board of Education. This individual currently does not possess the power to turn the opinions of Charles County students into a vote on the Board of Education. A student vote on the Board of Education will not only benefit student leaders such as myself, but every student in this county by giving them a direct platform to voice their concerns. A vote for the student member would become a vote to represent the student voice, a vote to encourage action that benefits the largest group of people that Charles County Public Schools impacts, and a vote to impact student-driven change. County Commissioner, State Delegates, State Senator, I urge you to consider supporting the student member of the board's proposal to strengthen the student voice in Charles County by providing the student member of the board with voting rights. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now be hearing from Desmond Rosier.
All right,
Mr.
good evening. Thank you, Charles County. Hello?
You're on the line. Go ahead.
All right, my name is Desmond Rosier, and my address is 7490 Joseph Rosier Place, La Plata, Maryland. Good evening. Thank you, Charles County. Thank you, Charles County Commissioners, Delegates, and Senators for giving us this opportunity. Like I said, my name is Desmond Rosier. I am a student advocate here in Charles County. Leadership. Leadership is not for your self-interest, but leadership is helping your community and helping build and grow from the bottom up. I wanted to tell a story about how a teen who had no idea who he wanted to be in life and what he wanted to do with his life found his path with leaders in his community. His first attempt on becoming a student leader was sophomore year. He was going to become his student grade president his junior year. He had a plan, a vision for his class, a dream. But like any challenge, it was not easy. It came with disappointments, failures, and mistakes. Nonetheless, he continues. Now, who is this teen I'm talking about? Not to overstate, but this teen is me. I did not win student president my junior year. And to be honest, I didn't even announce I was running. I just simply gave up. There was too much difficulties. The students were not having any say. It was the adults who ran the show. It was a series of mistakes I seen my SGA make that made me the leader I am today. I continued, became the student leader of La Plata High School, just an influencer. As student leader, I would take things our SGA could not get done and encourage the students to participate in the change that we wanted to see. Yes, I got called to the principal's office and was recommended to follow the SGA ideals. But this was not the students' ideals. It was the adults. All the blame on me was fine, but that's what a leader does. He serves wholeheartedly and unconditionally to support your community in any way that you can. We are the students. We are represented in the board for a reason, and it is from that we, the youth, need to break perceptions and stereotypes that we can't get involved based on we don't know enough, we aren't old enough, simply that we are not enough. I know, we know that we are enough, and it's time for us to have a say on our future. We are the future of Charles County. Allowing our voice and our vote to count, it is time for us to be recognized, and it is time for us to be heard, and the time for that is now. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Eric Valentine. Are you on the line, Eric? I think you may be muted. All right, we'll move on to the next speaker right now is Tyne Kaibe, and I'm going to have him enter the meeting.
For reference, my name is Snake Kid.
All right, Mr. Kaibe.
Kid, I am the president of Charles County Association of Student Council. My residence is 7970 Deepwater View Drive, and today I'm here to represent my peers, the students in Charles County. This county is fortunate enough to have such a diverse student body, which comes with multiple unique ideas and opinions towards our education. This is why once a year we select our representatives, who we believe will advocate our views successfully. We know how hard you all work, and we're grateful for it, but no one else knows the specific wants and opinions of the student body as much as our student representatives. Furthermore, there is no one else who has the first-hand experience of the results of the decisions made by the board. Right now, we're asking you to allow us to genuinely work with our board of education by giving our representative a vote. Don't count us out because of our age or our lack of titles. So many other counties that are even larger populations like Baltimore and Montgomery County have already extended this opportunity to their student members, and it's been proven effective. It's time to push Charles County onto the forefront of student leadership. One day, this partial vote can and will lead to better decisions that make our school system more efficient. This one partial vote will ensure student involvement and will give us a say in our education. We are asking you to fully support Charles County students by giving us the ability to voice our input in a way that actually counts. I know you all are busy working hard, and this process will be another thing on your plate, but look at it at a different perspective. Today, you've heard multiple students who knows what we're asking for and are willing to work for it. If you want us to modify our election process of SMOB, then we will discuss it. If you want us to consider the effectability of partial voting rights, then we will discuss it. We're asking you to be open to the conversation because we are ready to talk. All we want is one vote. Give us a chance. Give the student member the form of voting rights. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Excuse me, this is Eric Valentine. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can go ahead and you have 3 minutes to present your comments.
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners, state delegates, and senator. My name is Eric Valentine, and I live at 9481 Canary Drive, Belleville, Maryland. I am a junior at La Plata High School. Thank you for taking my call. I'm glad to be able to discuss student member of the Board of Education voting rights. As the La Plata High School student representative at every Board of Education meeting, I see firsthand the value of the student voice and the powerful potential that it still has. At every board meeting I've attended, students have provided comments on issues that affect them directly. Each student brings unique perspective and bright new ideas that leave a positive mark on their school system. Unfortunately, the student's voice is only protected by an opinion vote, leaving it vulnerable to misrepresentation. Giving the student member voting rights will fully protect the voice of Charles County public school students and elevate the voice of our student leaders to one equal with nearby counties. That's why, as a representative of one of the largest stakeholder groups in Charles County Public Schools, the students, I urge this Board of Commissioners to consider an amendment to provide voting rights in all matters except personnel to the student member of the Board of Education. Thank you again. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Now we'll move on. Delegate Patterson.
Thank you very much. I just want to say as a comment to the young man, Ian, and to the other speakers, this legislation, should the county elect to forward it to the General Assembly, comes before the Ways and Means Committee, a committee that I serve on, and I will say it's about time. We've watched and we voted on other counties having student members with voting rights, and each time it happens, I keep saying to myself, well, what's Charles County doing? You have moved forward, you've moved the needle, and for that I applaud you. Save your comments, and I will give you a heads up. We are very, very appreciative and support students who elect to serve on board members, and certainly will give them those rights, provided the county supports this recommendation. So again, thank you for your service, and we look forward to seeing you in a few months.
Commissioner Bowling.
Well, good evening, Ian. Good to see you. First, I want to say thank you, and thank you to all the members of your student government that spoke tonight. It shows an incredible sense of leadership and maturity on all y'all's level. I know that we had spoken but gone back and forth via email about this proposal for about the last 2 weeks. I think it's important for our young people to be involved in government. I think it's real important. And I think I personally was in student government and at the Plata High School, so I can understand the ambition, and I definitely appreciate it. I also think it's important for me as your elected commissioner to, and as I stay in those emails, I think that the Board of Education really needs to be in this conversation. And I will ask you, have you had a formal discussion with the Board of Education on the record in front of the public like we're doing now about this and your request? Because I think part of my responsibility to you and to all the residents is to kind of the process and to explain it to you, and so you understand that there's some things that need to go through a certain process for me. And one of them is the Board of Education, out of respect, like the Sheriff's Department. They're elected by the citizens, and this will directly impact their vote, because I believe there's 9 members, or there's 7 members on the Board of Education. So you'll be the 8th member. And when you think about it, that's a big responsibility. And that could, if there's a deadlock vote, that could really make a difference. So I really think it's important. And we have 2 weeks before we come back for the actual debate between the delegates and the commissioners. I think it's important to go back and have a discussion with the Board of Education, so we can have them in the next meeting and we can hear from them too. Not saying that's totally going to make my decision one way or the other, but it's important to walk you through the process. When I was sitting in your shoes 20 years ago on the as a student member of the student government, these are things that I would have expected from back then. I think it was Danny Mayer was my county commissioner, and I was on the board of or on the student government with Danny's daughter. So these are things that I hope that, and your colleagues that are listening tonight, I hope they can understand that this is kind of the process, and this is what we really, how the way should go. So the one thing I'm asking is, in the next 2 weeks, if you could go back to your Board of Education and have this discussion, and then when we come back, we can have a really good debate. Does that sound good? Thank you.
Senator Ellis.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hurd, and all fellow student leaders for your presentation. I mean, I just sat here and just enjoying how all of you able to articulate the issue and your passion for service. So thank you so much for this volunteer opportunity that you undertook, and the great job you're doing. I echo Commissioner Boland's comment and question. So I didn't hear a response from you. Have this issue, this proposal, been brought up before the board or individual members? Could you answer that for me?
Yes. So as the student member, I'm not at, it's kind of a long story, but previously the student member wasn't included in executive session meetings, but they have since read the law, and I will be included in future meetings. But the last board meeting, it is my understanding that during their executive session, things related to my position were discussed, but I don't know the content of that discussion.
Okay. Yeah. So is there any mechanism available for you to bring this up, to add this as an agenda item to the Board of Education to be discussed? Because I don't think we should give you a task that is beyond your capability now, with your inability to participate fully in the process. And I don't really want us to get into that circular, send you back to do something that you cannot do. So is it possible for you to have that discussion, to have that added to the agenda? And
well, my concern would be that their next public meeting would be next month, which would be after you guys are voting on this. So, okay. But I could certainly reach out, but I'm not sure if they would hold a special meeting just for that.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. And
Ian, I'm sorry, Senator. Ian, I can reach out to some of the board members, and I can see if they can have a discussion with you. How about that?
I appreciate that a lot.
Okay. So the thing is, really, thank you, Commissioner. So I'm very, I want to share the comments of my colleagues, Delegate Patterson. I also sit on the committee in the Senate, which would hear this bill. And I remember, I think the Montgomery County legislation, which we heard, where the student members came up to testify. And I was so happy. And I was wondering, like Delegate Patterson, when will I hear from Charles County with this particular issue? And I believe what you're asking for is very modest, because I don't remember if it's Montgomery County, but they went beyond what you're asking. And we granted a scholarship for the school board student member also, because this takes so much of your time. And so we put that in legislation also, because that was requested from, I believe, Montgomery County. Don't hold me to that. But we saw several of these legislation. And so it's something we've done before. And we definitely understand your maturity and the maturity of our students and your involvement in the issue, understand these issues. And we definitely appreciate your involvement and to have that really say on the board. So I look forward to resolving these issues that were brought up earlier and to work on this legislation in the Senate. Thank you.
If I may respond to the comments that were made.
You can do very quickly because we have to move on.
I just want to say on behalf of all the students, I'm the only one on camera, but I can tell you they're all grinning ear to ear back wherever they are. We appreciate it, and this is the holy grail of student government. We've been talking about this for so long, so to see the enthusiasm reciprocated, we love it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.